Hello there. My name is Tommy, and I'd like to share with you the things that I love. Something very dear to my heart is Dungeons and Dragons. Now, there's a lot of people out there, who've been playing since the game originally came out. I mean, I unfortunately was not one of those people. I knew what the game was, and I didn't start playing it until after high school. Actually, the story was is the majority of my family went to Disney World, and I said, well, I don't really got the money for it, and so I didn't go. Instead, I went over to my buddy's house, who parents owned a mortuary, and that's where I first played Dungeons and Dragons, was a mortuary. Now, before you say, "Oh, wait a minute, that's kind of creepy," well, yes, I have played it in the mortuary part, but the way their house worked was the the uh, the top floor was where they lived. The second floor is where the business was. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. In truth, there's probably gonna be several of these videos talking about Dungeons and Dragons. It's a really, really loved subject, and I remember that we were playing 3.5, and we only had a player handbook, and we had no idea what we were doing. We went on the internet. We found a couple of printable character sheets, and there's four of us. So there was a DM, and there's three players. And I recall that I was a ranger. I think we had a cleric maybe, and maybe a fighter. Maybe it was like a sorcerer. I'm not entirely sure now. And my buddy, who was the DM, found a adventure, White Plume Mountain, and to this day, that adventure always holds a kind of a special place in my heart, just because I had such a blast playing it. I mean, even growing up, I've always been that guy who's into knights and wizards and castles and, well, just that fantasy. And the fact that Dungeons and Dragons is like an organized fantasy game where the entire game is based upon what you imagine it to be. In fact, when I make maps, I have a program that makes them look like those old school, like 70s and 80s blue maps, because I'm such a strong believer that you should put into perspective your imagination. Not what this map is showing you, not what these miniatures are showing you. This is your imagination. Now, there's certainly nothing wrong if you want to play like that. That's just not my style. Um, but anyways, yeah, I just absolutely loved playing that White Plume Mountain, and to this day, it is still one of my favorites, and to this day, I still definitely play. Um, I mean, I'm currently playing fifth, which I absolutely love. But really, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons to me, yeah, it's fun to make characters, fun to like to role play, but one of the other fun parts about it is getting a whole bunch of your friends all sitting around a table. Maybe you got some soda, maybe you ordered some pizza. I mean, it's really just a quality time. And like the only thing that just kind of sucks about it is sometimes real life gets in the way. I know when it comes to my friends, I mean, I live in a completely different town now, and so thankfully we have things like Skype and all that kind of stuff. But it still doesn't give you the full, sitting around a table with a bunch of friends laughing, cracking inside jokes. It really, really is a very fun game. And as I said, yeah, there's probably going to be some other um, uh, things that I love on Dungeons and Dragons, but definitely Dungeons and Dragons is something that I hold very dear.